There are 40 elections coming up in the next year or so, including France, including the United States, and of course the German election is not too far after that. So you're going to see a lot of good news coming out of Europe and of America. Is the situation finished? No. We have problems that will hit us in 2013, 2014. But this year you're going to hear a lot of good news, Andrew. CNN's going to have a lot of good things to say.
Does that necessarily conform to a rising stock market, though?
Well, probably, at least for a few months. We've had it for a few months now. We need a correction somewhere along the line. Probably into the fall, you'll see a fairly stable and rising stock market. But be very worried about 2013, Andrew, and be extremely worried about 2014.
And is it going to see the same story coming back to haunt us in 2013, 2014?
Yeah, the situation is getting worse. The debt is going through the roof. Nobody's solving any problems. Everybody's making everything sound good and look good, but the problems are getting worse and worse and worse. Andrew, we had a recession in 2008. It was worse in 2002 because the debt was so much higher. The next time around, it's going to be worse still because the debt's going to be higher than I can reach.
And it's going to be Europe and it's going to be the US. What about China?
Well, China's doing its best to calm things down, and they should be. They've got inflation up there, as you know, and I hope that they calm the situation down. I don't expect some parts of the Chinese economy will suffer. If you're in property, you're probably going to suffer in China because the government's doing its best to make you suffer. But other parts of the Chinese economy are going to be okay.
Okay, I know Nina wants to chime in about Europe, Jim. Nina.
Yeah, hi there, Jim. You know how you're saying that be very, very concerned about 2013, 2014, essentially because a number of these governments, particularly in Europe, just aren't paying down that debt. If they're trying to inflate their way out of this problem, what does that mean for the average person? Where do you put your money these days before 2013, 14?
Nina, you put it extremely well. They are going to try to inflate their way out. That's all they know to do. It's the wrong thing to do. But the only way to protect yourself, Nina, in a time like that is to own real assets. You know, whether it's silver or rice or whatever it happens to be, you've got to own real assets when they're printing money. I don't like that they're printing money. It's not good for any of us, but that's what they do. They're not smart people. That's why they work for the government.
Now, somebody who supposedly is a very smart person is Mario Draghi, the head of the ECB. He says that we're sort of halfway along the road and the problems that the Eurozone have faced are almost behind us. He's even perhaps, let's say, courting some of the people who are more hawkish on the ECB, who are scared of inflation. What do you make of these recent comments that he's made? Is the worst behind us? Should we be worried about inflation now? Can we afford to be?
Of course the worst is not behind us. Can you name any government that's lowered its debt? Even Greece, which wrote off billions of dollars, the debt is still the same as it was before, and the debt is going higher. No, Nina, this is all balderdash. They're trying to make us all feel better for the elections. You've got to be worried, and you've got to learn not to listen to the government, because if you listen to the government, you're going to go broke. Don't get your advice from governments.
Yeah, but indeed, Jim, wise words. Watch what the politicians say with bucket loads of salt. So, how do you broadly play this? You talk about commodities there, real assets. What is Jim Rogers investing in?
Well, what I'm most optimistic about is agriculture going forward. Agriculture has been a horrible business for 30 years. Prices are very low, and prices have to go higher, Andrew, or we're not going to have any food at any price. We have serious shortages developing of food around the world. We have shortages of farmers. The average age of a farmer in America and Australia is 58. In Japan, it's 66.
You've been saying this for a long time, haven't you?
Yes, and
it's happening. Buy farms, buy farmland, and buy commodities.
Yes, and now it's working. It's not over yet, though. It's got a long way to go. I've told you, you should stop being on TV and become a farmer.